What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Final Checkpoint podcast. We're back after a 2-week break. Before we get started, I do want to really say thank you to everybody that reached out to me during this really hard time. If you don't know why, maybe why we didn't have a podcast for 2 weeks, or why Ben was solo on one episode, or why I just haven't been streaming very much. On July 15th, my father passed away from lung cancer. Probably the hardest thing I've ever had to go through and experience. And, I was out of town. I was in California with my family and really just being with them. But I want to say thank you to everybody that reached out to me, that sent their condolences, that was offering an ear if I needed to talk to somebody. In general, just, our community here at Final Checkpoint and the community over at Gaming Morning Show. I want to say thank you guys. You guys have been kind of my rock, including Ben, my co-host, including my friends and family around the internet, and my Gaming Morning Show family over here. Really, it was definitely tough to go through, and without you guys, I don't know how I would have made it through without constantly crying or something like that. It was definitely hard. But you guys were there. You guys were either streaming and giving me a distraction, or you were reaching out, saying, sending me your condolences. And I just want to say thank you guys. I know right now, especially Gaming Morning Show, you guys are dealing with the loss of one of your community members right now. And same thing. I want to extend my condolences over to you guys, and let you know that I'm also here. If you guys need to talk, if you guys need someone to game with, anything like that. I just really appreciate what everyone did, and just reaching out even. And I didn't really post anything anywhere else on the internet other than Twitter, because I knew that's where you guys were. Ryan reached out to me from Gaming Morning Show. Mike O reached out to me. They knew what was going on, and so I kept in communication with them about everything. And yeah, just really thank you guys. That's what this is about. This is what building a community is about. It's about coming together with a group of people and building a space where you can really feel like you're cared about. And I just hope that if you guys are going through a hard time at all or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me in a DM or anything like that. Really, that's what we're here for. And I definitely don't want to go on any longer, because this is already a really long episode 98, reaching ever closer to episode 100 of Final Checkpoint. I'm really excited to be back and be back to doing what we do. And I'm more excited to kind of just embrace the community and try to grow it as much as possible, because this is, the love that I felt from everybody really just kind of motivated me to want to bring more people in that are going to do the same thing, that are going to care. So, without further ado, on to the show. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be back now and kind of get back into the swing of things, because that's just how it has to be, and video games.
It's good to dive back into normalcy and have that distraction.
It really is a great distraction to have, like video games kind of do that thing where they take you somewhere else, right? Especially when you really get into something, or in general, like you just get so focused on a video game, and then you're kind of like you don't even think about what's going on the outside. And that was really helpful to me throughout this whole time. So, thank you, video games, as well. Yeah. But Ben, you held it down for us. Anything new going on? Anything you want to update us about? Or
I don't know. I'm a little sick right now.
Oh, bummer.
Slept it off really well though. I was feeling way worse when I went to bed. Not that anyone cares.
No, we all care. Come on.
I don't care. Even I don't care. Why should you care? I tried to set up a cough button. Doesn't work. Does not work. So I'm sorry if I have to cough or whatever. It's great. It's a great time in sick world over here. Yeah. Nothing happens to me. in terms of like relevant things, I had annoying neighbors for a bit.
I've been hearing a lot about annoying neighbors today. I forgot where else I heard it from.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, who else? Oh, one of my former coworkers that is streaming on Twitch. He was talking about his annoying neighbor and some old lady that went into his yard and started scraping vines off of his wall with a rake. Crazy. So
Yeah.
what kind of shenanigans are your neighbors doing?
Well, for the
Committing?
last couple of weeks, they've been playing music super loud.
Oh.
Um, and but it's like at 8 in the morning,
Oh.
which is really weird.
Yeah, that's
Um,
like your sleep time, isn't it? Or close to it?
no, but it's close enough. Uh, but yeah, that's like a really weird time to be playing music. But the thing about it is, it's so loud, I can't hear what the music is. I can only hear the bass. Like that's the only thing, and it vibrates the whole room basically. I could be 10 feet away from
Wow.
the wall, and I can hear it still.
Dang.
Um, that's really loud. That's like the hallway in the Matrix with the party or whatever it is. Insert movie here. So last week I banged on the wall and I yelled at them.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and they stopped and the music stopped and I haven't heard it super loud since. I'm like, okay, maybe that was what needed to happen. But it's like, dude, it's way too loud. And it's to the point now because it's been going on for a while. But like you said, it's about when I go to bed and I sleep in the other room. So I'm like, well, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sleep over here. But now when I'm playing a game and I hear the bass in the actual song of the game, I start getting annoyed. To be
Oh,
like oh they're playing a music again, and then I gotta go. Oh wait, no, that's my stuff. Okay,
it's
okay,
triggering.
yeah, it's triggering, which fucking sucks. I don't like it. I want them to leave. But as I said, nothing's happened in the last like 5 days. So
Do they
here's
know
hoping.
do they know what like who you are, or do they think it's like some 80-year-old man who's like complaining about music?
They don't know who I am. No, 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 they don't know
Yeah.
who I am.
So they're like, "Oh, the old man next door is
But I
doesn't like our
apparently yelled
music."
so loud through the wall that everything stopped and it went away.
Oh my
So maybe
god.
they get freaked out.
Do
Um,
you live in an apartment building?
yeah, it's just like a normal complex type of thing.
Yeah, there's like etiquette there. There's some etiquette and
Right.
respect to your neighbors. Like you share a wall with other people. Why are you playing music so loud?
Like
Crazy.
it's I almost wish it was happening now because I guarantee you get picked up by the mic.
Wow,
It's so loud. I want to record it if it ever happens again. Um,
when we first moved to Idaho, we got an apartment and we had upstairs neighbors, and well, we had
mhm.
next door ones too, but like they were constantly moving out of that apartment, so we never really heard much of them because it was vacant a
They
lot of the
never
time.
moved in. They were just constantly moving
Yeah, they're
out.
just always moving in and out. I think they were drug dealers. No, um, but the neighbors upstairs, every now and then, we would just hear yelling and screaming, and then like a door slamming and stomping. Like it
Mm.
was it was kind of nuts, and we always thought it was like a couple fighting, but it was actually some dude fighting with his mom all the time. And then one time I walked out to like go to my car, and he was sitting in his car, and he like offered me a beer, and I'm like, "No, I'm good, man. I'm all right. I don't need a beer right now."
Oh my
He's like
god.
sitting there drinking in his car. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but we
Yeah,
moved away
I don't.
eventually, so that was nice.
Right, that's my only hope. These people will eventually leave, and I don't have to go to their door
Yeah,
because I will.
leave a strongly worded note.
I googled it, and apparently you can do like a small claims court thing
Oh,
and sue people for doing stuff like this.
I would love to see you on Judge Judy with those neighbors,
Uh huh.
and she's like
Uh huh.
yelling at them, "Inconsiderate brats" or something like that. That'd be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hilarious.
I'd love it. I want to get them evicted or murdered,
Oh
whatever
wow,
comes
good
first.
lord. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so I did a thing that I told myself I was never gonna do, and I did it, and now I can't stop wanting to do it more. And that is buying a Funko Pop.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I got the if you're just listening to the audio version, I'll describe it, but it's the if you've ever seen the Mighty Ducks, the original Mighty Ducks movie, the ragtag team of bad hockey players from Pee Wee
Right.
hockey that become better. Anyways, I have there's like a Flying V collection where it's like Fulton Reed, Coach Bombay, Charlie Conway, all these guys that I'm a big fan of. I got one just because I didn't know they were out, and I was like, oh man, like I gotta get this. It's on sale and it's from the Mighty Ducks.
Right.
And then I got it, and then I was like, oh no, I want more. I want the rest of them. And now I want to get like Pokemon and Naruto ones. And I'm just like, oh no, what have I done? I've unleashed
Yeah,
a demon.
that's dangerous.
Very
I, d-
dangerous.
I mean, I have no leg to stand on with my 100 amiibo or whatever. Uh, but I don't have many Funko Pops. And the way I did it with Funko was they all look the same. They all have that stupid vacant look. And
Yeah.
so any Funko I have are ones that are very distinct head shapes. So I actually have, I think it's Cuphead is a
Oh,
Funko I
cool.
have. I think, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a Funko, but because it looks just like Cuphead, it just looks like a Cuphead figure. And I have Tally from Mass Effect, which
Nice.
has a cool helmet, which is exactly what I would want, not a weird
Not a weird
generic
face
face.
with like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely that I always had a problem with Funko Pops. Maybe because of their face, or I don't know. I just felt like they were making one for everything.
They
But
are.
now I'm one of those suckers that wants to get a ton of them.
Logan's into Funko.
I wonder which I there's like a couple Naruto ones that look pretty cool. I mean, there's a few out there that I would love to have for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's not good.
yeah, it's not good. It's
No.
I'm in trouble now. But anyways, this is a show where we talk about video game news, and then we'll segment break to talk about games that we played, but it's all going to stay on one show, so don't worry about having to like go to different feeds and look for this and look for that. One show, one episode for everything that your heart desired.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what they always say, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what they told us at school,
Yep.
I think. I don't know. And then we all failed.
Yeah, I think they did that. I wonder if they still do that. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ben, before we move on to the news segment, what games are we going to be talking about in the games we played?
Yes. So you have here Persona 5 Strikers and Pokemon Unite, which
New
I'm interested in
games.
hearing about both of those things. Since I play too many games, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. But I think the big highlight might be Scarlet Nexus and
Oh,
uh
okay.
and the what was the game of the game? Death's Door. There it is.
Oh, I've been hearing so many good things about Death's Door.
Yeah, we'll talk about all that and more after the news.
News. And before we get to the news, please remember that we are available on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Google and Apple Podcast services, and tons of other podcast services that I just don't know the names of because I always just use Spotify now. But please, the best way to support us is to follow and listen. You know, you don't have to listen to the whole episode, maybe just like 5 minutes and, give us a shot.
Yeah, leave it on. Just
Leave it on.
leave your headphones in, put your phone down, and walk away.
Yeah, if we're like through a boring part that you don't want to listen to, just turn it down. Turn it down.
Yeah, as I
Yeah.
cough to death. It's great.
Yeah.
Great auditory experience where I sound sick and I'm coughing every 5 minutes. It's fucking awesome.
Exactly. The episodes where Ben is like slowly dying of some cough storm, you just turn it down. Yeah, and then of course, follow us here if you're watching live on twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint. We stream the recording of the podcast live on Sundays, 8 p.m. Pacific time. You get to see fun stuff like my Funko Pop, Ben coughing in physical form, and then my son interrupting the podcast by walking in awkwardly. But yeah. So
Yeah.
enjoy. And then we do also have a YouTube. This will definitely be uploaded to YouTube, so look out for that. It's youtube.com/loadlastcheckpoint. I really wish I could change the name of everything, but it seems like too much trouble. So, anyways, on to the news. So, where should we start then?
Yay.
Kind of a big one.
Yeah, so I don't know how you want to tackle this, and I feel like every show in existence has dove into the Activision Blizzard allegations,
Yeah,
lawsuit against the state or from the state of California after a 2-year investigation.
crazy.
Uh, Frat boy culture. What are the buzzword SEO things that have been going on with it? It is crazy, and I don't really want to spend too much time on it
Right.
because I think
It's been done to
it's
death.
it's been done to death, and any sensible person is just like fucking grow up, you stupid man babies. And I think it comes down also because it's not just it's everyone else in the room also because there's like always one or two stupid guys, you know them, you know who they are, and they just kind of everyone else in the group is just like whatever and goes along with it. And I
Mhm.
think we have to at this point we have to stand up and be like, no, that's not a joke. Like that's not a funny thing. You wouldn't if your mom was listening to this, you would not do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you kind of have to view things like this, as simple and as stupid as that is, because you shouldn't have to think that way. But if it helps you, would you say this in front of your sister or your girlfriend or whatever? And maybe you would, and maybe that reflects on you, but I don't think you would. A lot of these things could have been stopped if just a few people in the room was like, maybe we don't name anything after Cosby. Like maybe we
Yeah.
don't do that. Maybe we don't just promote this wild drinking sex party room. Maybe that's not a good. Maybe we don't do the cube crawls. Like maybe we stop a little bit. I think that's the takeaway. Obviously, if you've been in tech or you have been following, you know this is unfortunately not news at all. So that's what sucks about it. It's good that this seems to be pretty big, and people are talking and acting on it in good ways.
It's
Maybe
huge.
not from the higher ups at Activision Blizzard, but we'll see what unfolds with that because this isn't even a week old yet, is it? Or maybe it's about a week, a little bit
It's
over a week old.
Yeah, I think it's about a week old. I think some of the biggest things that I've seen are content creators like Asmongold on Twitch and Preach Gaming. They are some of the biggest World of Warcraft content creators, and they have completely like stepped away from that game and
Mm,
have like kind of denounced, their support of it. And especially for like Preach Gaming, who is like, it's a company and it's several people involved and a team of like editors and producers and stuff like that for YouTube content, things like that. Like, I mean, a lot of money rides on them making this content, and they're completely done with it. They're like, we are done with World of Warcraft. We were done with supporting Blizzard and Activision. Um, I think that's obviously great because they're showing their support. Um,
mhm.
I think in one of these cases, it'd be nice to have kind of like the perspective of like someone in gaming who has maybe like experienced stuff like this, or maybe just women in general who feel unheard and feel unsafe in this type of environment, to kind of get their perspective and really give them somewhere to like, a platform to kind of say what they feel. So we would love to definitely hear from anybody that would like to do that. Of course, just it's just me and Ben here, but we stand with you in this situation here where we're seeing a company of a bunch of rich nerds that don't know how to handle you know being together in a room with a bunch of dudes and not knowing how to like behave like adults, which is crazy because they also
Right.
are in charge of these huge companies that make so much money. But it's crazy. I mean, we heard about stuff like this with Riot a couple years back.
Right. And Ubisoft last year.
Ubisoft last year. I mean, it's I just don't understand it, especially like there's no reason for it. It doesn't do them any favors to talk this way. It's not like it's like it's really weird. I mean, I
Yeah.
just think I've never been in a position where like that sounded fun to me, to like purposely be offensive and harassing people, things like that.
But
Like it's
that's
just weird.
that's the thing about it, because I went to a school that was went to college at and it's like a game design school, right?
Mm.
Basically, and they have a lot of other computer programs, and it was probably 80-90% dudes. And there's a lot of people there that I could see turning into these executives
Yeah.
where you're just in your own little bubble. You're basically a child. No one ever forces you to grow up, and it just spirals into this. Uh, it's I see where it comes from, and it really does suck that no one else just stopped it and just said like, no, we can't. No, that's crazy. Don't do
Yeah.
that. What strikes me crazy also about it is there's no like if this was happening and where's the footage? Where's the person filming this and like leaking it to Jason Schreier? Because I think that would go a long way
Yeah.
to just have that. And I know it's hard to think in the moment of like, let me just film this real quick and hopefully don't lose my job because I'm filming my bosses be sexist.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's a big concern, but I feel like that's what it should come down to. Like if you're at EA or wherever and you see stuff like this, film it. Get it on tape, put it out there so people can see it and
Yeah.
see cuz it is real. This isn't one of those things that's like, well, maybe it is exaggerated. But even if 50% of what was in that report was exaggerated, the other 50% is still so heinous. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how exaggerated it is. It's still super egregious, and we shouldn't allow that to happen. But yeah, I said we didn't really want to talk about it too much, but I know I've been annoyed listening to podcasts in the last couple of weeks because it's just like every day with this, and
Mhm.
I don't know how many times you can hear people say, "We support you," and this is crazy, but what do we do? But
Yeah.
yeah, it is important.
I mean, the best thing we could do is really just support, the people, the victims, and just try to make it, build a community where that's not acceptable, and you know, that's just what we can
Right.
do from where we stand. Um, but yeah, I mean, if there's any huge updates, we'll of course update you guys here on the show. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Okay. I have one.
It's always a good thing when this stuff comes out because then like all right, now we can move forward, put an end to these guys, get them out of there, whatever's going to happen to them because that tends to
Hopefully,
happen,
yeah.
and then hopefully they can get some measures in place to really help protect, you know, women in gaming or people of color or the LB oh gosh, L why can't I
Oh,
think of the
I'm not gonna help you. I'm gonna let you die on this one.
LBG. Hang on. I always mess up the
Are you gonna
because
Google it? Oh, this
yeah,
is sad.
well, no, it's just because
It's
they okay
LGBTQ plus
LGBTQ.
whatever.
Yeah, so I
I
just
know the
have
whatever's dismissive, but
my
whatever.
memory's just really bad. But
Terrible, terrible.
anyways, yeah, yeah. I just think that it's this stuff comes out and then measures get put in place to really support them. So
Hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully all that comes through. What I find tangentially interesting about this, and to pivot more back to games, they have not announced a Call of Duty yet for this year,
mm,
and now they kind of can't. And if people are walking out from Infinity War, whatever, I don't know whose year it is, but what does that mean for that? What does that mean for announcing this game? Can they even announce this game in a month?
yeah,
Right? That's fascinating to me as someone who's just followed the industry for a long time. I would love. I mean, obviously we're gonna know because you just gotta wait a couple weeks and see what happens.
yeah.
That's really fascinating to me. And also, Diablo 2 Remastered is supposed to come out at the end of September,
That's true.
and there's supposed to be a beta along with it before that. I really am curious what goes on with this. If IGN and the like don't cover the reveal of Call of Duty, things like that. This is fascinating for me. At least that part is.
Yeah,
That part's fun.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that Call of Duty, especially
Oh yeah.
because I think a lot of people are just not gonna want to support them. But
Hmm.
we'll see. I mean, vote with your wallet, essentially. Who
We
you're
will
gonna
see.
support. A lot of people have stopped playing their games. A lot of people are swearing off buying the new games, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Because
we got Overwatch 2 going on with that. There's a lot of because a lot of this seemed to stem from Blizzard, not just
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. Definitely seems like
yeah.
it. Yeah. Cool.
Womp womp.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next news
I'm
story.
dying.
Oh no.
Do you want to do this? Do you want to lead the story? Do you have
Yeah.
this?
I mean, technology wise, it's gonna be mostly from you, but basically they
Okay.
announced that they're gonna be adding the PlayStation 5 expansion ability, I guess. So you can actually expand the hard drive with your own SSD, but
Yay!
caveat, there's a whole like
Woo!
I don't know, it seems like a lot of hoops to jump through just to get the right hard drive because you really got to know your shit to make sure you don't buy the wrong one that's not compatible with it.
Yeah.
And then you're definitely going to know more about this about like taking measures to make sure there's like heat sink or something like that. Like for me I was right away I was like done. I don't even care anymore.
Okay, so that's a couple things. Heatsink real quick. Most of these come with heat sinks. I know the one I have in my PC comes with it,
Okay.
and it's just like this half an inch tall. It almost looks like a couple sticks of gum.
Okay.
In terms of size, that's on top of it, and that's it. It's a pretty simple thing.
And some of them and a lot of them just come with it. So probably not a
I
huge
think
worry.
so.
Yeah, I
You
feel like
might
a
have to.
lot of it got blown out of proportion too, but
It did.
yeah.
You might have to worry about how big it is. I don't know how big the enclosure in that little area is of the
Mm,
PS5. I haven't physically looked at it. Um, because why would I? If since we couldn't even be able to do this yet, why even
yeah.
open it up? There's that, and then just as we said, the reason why this wasn't announced or elaborated on until now is because you need a very specific speed,
Yeah.
a rewrite speed. What is it? Over 5,500, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fast. Look it up. I know Mark Cerny tweeted out like I bought these for like his and hers hard drives for the PlayStation 5. But then someone looked it up and it was like $500 or
Oh
some
my
shit.
gosh.
It's it's pretty crazy. I have to look up how much I paid for mine, which I think mine might be compatible, but it might just not be. I don't know. But it's yeah, it's like $200 for a terabyte. Like it's not cheap. And I said this when Microsoft had their solution of the memory cards that you could just buy and be like, this is expensive. Like the Sony one's gonna be just as expensive. And it really goes to highlight another thing Microsoft did with the Xbox Series consoles of just make it simple. Oh, I can buy this memory card, perfect. Now I got to look at these hard drives. Which one's approved? Is that one? Do I know? Because even if it's not approved, now or if it is approved, there's this hinge in the back of your mind of, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? What if it doesn't work? And there's even a word in it might have been in the tweet or in the article that Sony put out that said there might be changes in some of the games you play. Like it might not load as fast as the internal SSD, so you might notice some differences. And it was just like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
This is terrible. I hate this
The
so
next
much.
gen is awful. The next gen is awful.
Yeah, it kind of is. So I have no interest in doing this. I have decent internet speeds, and I usually only play a couple games at a time. And since I have all the consoles,
Yeah.
I'll just play other stuff on Xbox, or I'll play it on my PC, or you know what I mean. Like I don't need the extra space on my PlayStation. And even if I did, I still don't think I would. It's just too
Yeah.
expensive. It's not if it's not going to be as fast. If there's even a chance that is 10% slower, I'll just delete shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know I don't have to deal with Warzone or something that's really big. So I'm safe in that regard. So me personally, I wouldn't bother with this, but it's not an ideal solution.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I'm kind of used to juggling games on the PlayStation hard drive already
Right.
with the PS4 and I did it majority of the generation. And I just don't like I think what you said is exactly like what I would do. Like I'm going to play maybe one or two games at a time, so I don't really need to install, 3 games that are going to take up the whole hard drive. Um or more. But yeah, I mean, it's Sony just can't really seem to get it right with technology or,
No.
software, and this is just another like example of how trying to just use their console is difficult when stuff like that
Yeah.
should be simple. Like they should have just done what Xbox did and
The,
made
the,
a thing that you buy and just install, or just
yeah.
make it I don't know, a little easier for people to make a Sony branded SSD that isn't super expensive that people can just put in, and at least they're not buying different ones that suck or mess up their
That
console.
might not work and people get
Yeah.
all upset. Like that's the irony of it, because Sony is the king of proprietary formats.
Yeah.
And the one time they decide not to do it and not to make a little memory card that's their own is the time they probably should have.
Yeah.
Because they really could have.
We didn't need it on the Vita.
No, God, we didn't. And that was just to stop piracy, which totally worked.
They would have sold more
But
Vitas had they let piracy.
yeah, well, that's possible with PSP.
Yeah.
But this would have been the perfect opportunity to say we made this awesome SSD. You're gonna have to buy a proprietary thing because of how we did it, because how we implemented it. Fine. And even if it would still be $250, but then I would know it's the Sony branded thing. Like is it like with the Xbox thing? I don't necessarily want to buy that, but if I wanted that extra storage space, I have no qualms with buying that. There's no hesitancy there. It is just, oh, memory slot, cool. Instead of this, where it's, all right, let me go to their FAQ, and what does Digital Foundry say? All right, this is the performance of that one versus that one. All right, that's the one I should buy. Cool. It's $250.
Oh my
Fine,
gosh.
whatever. I'm balling out over here apparently with this PlayStation. It's just, and it's not complicated. That's not the issue. The issue is it's just obnoxious at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, it's not complicated if you kind of know your way around computers, right? Or you can read through the instructions and guides.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard for people that just don't know that stuff. And, maybe a lot of those people aren't really going to be looking for an
Do this in the
SSD to
first place.
expand their PS5. But I just think there's an easier way to kind of do something like this so that it's not so complicated. Even for just consumers that maybe do know their shit. Like, why not make it easier? Why does everything always have to be so weird and complicated with Sony? And I'm wearing a Sony shirt.
I'm not. I don't own a Sony shirt. That's not true. I do. I do own a Sony shirt.
I got it for Father's Day.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Look out, Sony.
We'll see how it unfolds because this is in the beta update, the beta OS update, I think.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be rolled out officially coming up. Okay, we'll see. They're patching in the trophies so that they're vertical, which is thank fucking Christ. I'm not even a trophy hunter, and the trophies on PS5 are terrible.
Are they? Oh god.
Oh my god, they're like 4 giant squares on the screen that you have to scroll through, and then it doesn't tell you the full description. It's like defeat 8 of the, and then you gotta hit into it to read it.
Oh yeah, that's
And-
annoying.
or the text scrolls really slow. But it's fucking terrible. So they are changing that, which is like the biggest part of the update. That again, I don't even care that much about trophies, but sometimes I like to get them.
Yeah.
It
sometimes
makes
they're
it
fun.
no fun at all
Yeah.
to do it on PS5. Sucks. Speaking of Sony computer, it does appear that Forbidden West, the Horizon sequel, been delayed into next year. Done.
Damn.
Done.
When I first read 2022, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's like 2 years from now." And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's it's next year."
Oh yeah. I'm a big not fan of that. I would feel that's a strong 2021 energy is not knowing what the fuck year it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I could see this maybe coming in February 2022. Maybe. I mean,
Yeah, that's when the first one came out. February.
yeah. So as long as there's not another Breath of the Wild coming out right right around that time, I think
It's
they
not-
should be good.
That's the joke. It's like, well, now they're both gonna come out in the same year,
like,
and I'm
ah.
like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it with Breath of the Wild 2 coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
We'll see, but make the game
Yeah.
good, I guess. I mean, it's coming out on PS4 as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
No, who cares?
I don't know. Maybe this gives me time to play the other one, like the original again, and get ready for it.
I did really
I don't know.
enjoy it. I don't know if I'm gonna replay it, but I did get it through PS Plus when it was free. So
Right.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't really love it, but I did play all of it.
yeah.
I don't know.
It just wasn't as memorable for me, like because I did really enjoy playing through it. I got the platinum on it. Like I loved playing it, and there's like some really good moments in it. But for some reason, like when I had this weird feeling about it, like long after, just like like it just I don't know
Mm.
why, and it's just usually when like I platinum a game or I play through it and do really enjoy it, like I feel it like it's more memorable, like it ends up on my top 10 or 15 list of all time, and this game just didn't, it just for some reason didn't have it. I got a little Game Informer cover right here. If you're watching the stream, I have Game Informer cover from the original sitting back on my wall. Don't even know why. Couldn't tell you where I
I
even
don't even like this.
decided to put it there, but I don't know. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
it's fine. Delay it. Who cares? Give us more
Yeah,
time.
I'm fine with the delay because I don't care. I do
Yeah.
not care about Horizon. There's literally no game that Sony has announced that's exclusive that I can think of that I'm super excited for. Like I will play God of War.
Oh yeah.
I'm not super excited until they actually show me something for it. And like Final Fantasy 16, but that's not
Yeah.
Sony. That's just exclusive.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. Even Deathloop. Deathloop is gonna fall on its face. I just know it.
Oh, it's a bummer. I'm excited about
It is a
Deathloop.
bummer.
It just looks
Yeah.
fun, and it reminds me a lot of Dishonored.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I should play Dishonored. I never played. Did I tell you that? I never played Dishonored with the powers. So I did like a no kill, no getting spotted run.
That's not a fun way to play it. I mean, it might
Oh, I
be,
had a blast.
but oh man, the powers are so fun, especially when you get the rats. Ah, so good.
It didn't. It made more sense as a stealth game for me. I never like the combat didn't feel good initially, so
Yeah.
I just did full stealth. I don't know. I'm like the only person who I see abilities and what you can do in that game, and I'm like, is this a different game? Did they really? Oh wow.
Oh, the
So
teleport too. So fun. Or the
well, that
dash.
I obviously I used that.
Yeah. But like dashing and stabbing, the best.
Oh, sure. Well, no, I did no kills. So, yeah, I did no getting spotted, no kills, run.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the last news story I think we're gonna cover for this episode. We're gonna keep it short and sweet for you guys as we come back.
Try to.
But yeah, and then we're gonna jump into the games we played, which I don't know, we could still call it Final Boss Squad, but it's just like a segment now.
Just play the theme.
Yeah. I'll play it right now. Do you just want to jump into it or what?
No, I have the thought-provoking question of the week.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go.
So I forget what I was listening to where I determined this, but is there? And this isn't thought-provoking. This is more of just a food for thought question to get you thinking, and I'll see what your answer is. Uh, is there something about the way that you play games that you wish you could change or wish like the way you play was different? And so mine is I wish I could play an open world Skyrim type game and just wander and not be caught up with completing the map or finding all the things or doing the quest lines. I wish I could just get lost in a world and not and not feel like I have to complete the quest and just like how you would when you were a kid play GTA and just get the cheats and blow up cars and do that for hours. I wish I could still play games like that,
Yeah.
but the way I play them feels very I need to get through it and it's almost it's like less fun in a way because I can't just be free with it. Very hippie,
Oh, okay.
free with the games.
Yeah.
But that was what I thought of with it.
Okay. I have two things, and two things that I've always thought about that I wish I could change about the way I play games or consume them. One is I wish I could finish games in general. Like I wish I would just finish them, and a lot of it is due to like time constraints. Like I have very limited time to play games throughout the week and stuff like that. But the other main reason why that happens is because of my second thing that I wish I could change about myself when it comes
Yes,
to
me
consuming
too.
games is I get game FOMO. So like
Oh
If I'm
yeah.
watching other people play a game or I'm listening to something and they're talking about it, or I watch like The Completionist or something like that, I instantly want to play that game. And like, I mean, it happened just yesterday with Apex Legends. The Kiki Cup happened yesterday, so Kiki Low on Twitch.tv hosted her. She does it a couple times a year, 3 times this year, I think, in total. With the upcoming November, but we were sponsors for it. And it was yesterday, and then later that night, I played like 4 hours of Apex Legends with my cousins, who one's in Florida, the other one's in Texas. And I have never sat down and played that much Apex Legends in one sitting. And it's also very rare that I ever sit and play a game that long in one sitting too. But it was because I was so like, I missed out on the tournament because there was no prep, from me or anybody that I was
Right.
going to have on the team or anything like that. We just, I've been gone. So, but I was just like, man, I want to play so bad. And then I dropped the other games I was playing to play Apex because I was going to play Pokemon Unite with another friend. And then since this was earlier in the day, I just played Apex for 4 straight hours. And that happens a lot. Like hearing about Death's Door, I just want to play
Right.
that now because of all the stuff I've seen about it. And I have all these other games that I just got that I like that I want to play. But that's why I don't finish games, and it's one of the main things that I want to change about, or I would love to change about the way I consume games, although I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is wishful thinking. I agree with that.
That's cool. I like doing something like this every episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep track. I'll probably add them to our little behind the scenes Google Doc. Add a bunch of questions, and we'll just pick one
Yeah.
each week and have
We
a
gotta
nice little
name it something.
convo.
Ben's
The
Sticky Wicket.
thought-provoking question of the week.
Ben's Sticky Wicket, or
No. No.
Right. We'll leave it. Thought-provoking question of the week.
Week.
All right, now
We'll think of a name. That's not
Yeah.
of importance.
we're also really bad with names, so that's also
Yeah,
for
we are
segments.
historically awful.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to games we played, or what used to be Final Boss Squad, or whatever. Ben, do you want to start?
Yeah, since I have 7,000 things, I'll be quick about. I'm omitting some of this stuff. Oh, I beat Mario Golf. It
Oh.
really last 30 minutes really spirals out of control, as you've probably heard. There's like boss fights at the end all of a sudden.
Oh my
It's
god, I
really
haven't heard
weird.
about this.
There's I think a snowman is the final boss.
Oh.
It's very strange. But I really liked it. And I can't wait to go back. The campaign, what was weird about the campaign is that you don't play through all the courses. So I haven't even done all the holes in the game. And
like the story doesn't take you through all the courses?
like it does, but I haven't played all the holes on all the courses. So I'll play like the first 9 of this course twice, but I never played the back 9, and it just never does it in the campaign. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I would not have done a campaign that way. I don't know why they did. But that does mean I'm excited to boot it up and play all the courses because I haven't seen them all. I don't even know what half the holes are. That's cool. I'm not disappointed with Mario Golf overall. I
Okay.
do think the campaign you're running around on the courses too much, like you're literally running around. You have to run to your ball, and I really don't like that. I like seeing where it lands, watching it roll, and there's that awesome suspense of like, oh, it's still in the fairway. I really like golf. I like watching golf.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'll just sit there and watch it. I think it's fun to watch.
I guess I don't catch it enough on TV to really sit and watch it.
My dad watches golf, so
I
it'll
think
be on.
it's probably something I could sit and watch. I just think I've never really like tried.
I think it's fun. You just mute it and just sit around talking with your friends or whatever. It's a
Yeah.
fun time to just like, oh, you almost got it, and then you're just talking about whatever. It's just like a super chill thing. Anyway, no, we don't need to talk about Mario Golf for much longer. I played through Little Nightmares 2.
Oh, cool.
And I was a pretty big fan of the first one. The second one really doubles down on the horror, and you kind of have a partner, which was the character from the first game, with you the entire time, almost the entire time. Really enjoyed it. puzzle platformer akin to Limbo or Inside. Had a great time with it overall. There's some sticking points and blah blah blah, but really enjoyed it, and I would encourage everyone to look up Little Nightmares 2 teacher section or whatever. There's a teacher in it. And this is like what this game does with things chasing you is exactly what I wanted from Resident Evil 8. Because you get, obviously, since it's not first person, you get to see the creature hunting after you. And this teacher is this like 10-foot tall, and you're little. Like you're this little thing. You're like maybe 2 feet tall. So this giant woman with just like a Slender Man stretched body. And you'll make a noise, and her head like fully rotates and then comes out like a snake to like
Oh,
investigate the vents. It's creepy
so
as shit.
Orochimaru from Naruto. Got that
Yeah,
snake
kind
head.
of like that. Yeah. It is so, and the art style is very grotesque and like fleshy.
Yeah.
It's really cool. They do a bunch of awesome horror stuff in it. That is what I wanted from Resident Evil 8. This is why I was disappointed with 8, because it didn't have that. It just didn't feel like it was trying to be scary. It just felt like you're in a dark room, so it's scary. Like, no, this has crazy alien lady with a head snake. And there's at one point where her neck just keeps growing and growing and growing, following you, chasing after you. And it's like
Oof.
in a vent, and it's just hitting off pieces of the vent as you're running away. It's so cool. I really like that. There's some awesome mannequin, scary stuff in there too. Lot of fun stuff. I cannot wait for Resident Evil to not be first person. I do not think it worked for 7. I don't think it works
Like
for
the
8.
experiment's over. Get back to
The
the
experiment's
other
over,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
I love Resident Evil so much. Like I got Netflix to watch the CG thing they did. And it was fine. But that's how big a
Okay.
Resident Evil fan I am. I will get my Netflix account back from the Netherlands or whoever hacked it to watch the Resident Evil show. And it was fine. Um but yeah, I really enjoyed Little Nightmares 2. It's probably about 6 or so hours, and I
Okay. It's
didn't
not
collect
super long.
everything. It was a solid game.
Cool.
Uh okay, but I'll hand it off to you after this. But I started Skyward Sword HD. I'm still very early
Okay.
because I was playing other garbage that who cares. But I just the motion controls I'm not using. I didn't really like them for the sword on the
Yeah.
Wii. I liked them for everything else, but the sword is like a big part of the game. And so using the thumbstick for the sword is fine, but it just I can't I can't stop having this feeling that this would just be better if I didn't have to do any of this shit. It just feels tacked on and stupid. And like I think back to because I actually had a little conversation with Tyler about Skyward Sword HD because he wrote an article about it,
Yeah.
and we went back and forth. And I was like, well, it doesn't do anything spectacular that like Wii Sports didn't do. And one of the points he made was about like look at VR games and how many VR games use these same techniques. And I think that's an excellent point. However, when I think of like Half-Life Alex, I'm in first person. I am that character doing these things.
Yeah.
But in third person, having to wiggle your sword and look around all weird, it just doesn't feel right. And like your character, Link, abruptly stops moving to slash, and it doesn't feel right.
Mm.
It's really weird. It does this thing too, like if you hold the sword up and then like you swipe down, you'll see the animation go down and then it'll pop back up and do the slash.
That's
It's
weird. Like
I'm
you're
pretty
winding
sure it
them
did
up
that
or
on
something.
I'm pretty sure it did that on the Wii too. Like it has to register because it's following your movement,
Yeah.
but it has to register you did it fast enough to be a slash. So it
Hmm.
follows your movement and it's like, oh, that was fast enough to be a slash. Let's do the slash. Just it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not going on.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Uh
Oh my gosh, this kid.
I know. But I'm not even to the first dungeon. I've played like maybe 2 hours, and I'm wandering around being stupid. Uh, it we'll see, we'll see. That's my at night. I'll play 15 minutes of this game, and
Yeah.
it's gonna take a long time to get to this game.
Yeah, I was tempted in
Yeah.
picking it up, and I'm like going back and forth on it because the like what I've heard about the motion controls has really kind of like steered me off of it a lot. And even with the what's it, the gamepad or whatever, the pro controller, like those controls and how those are working also kind of, well, I was watching a video on it. I think I was watching a review, and I was just kind of like, oh man, like I've never played that game, and like I know it's probably not as good as the other ones, but like I still would like to play it now that they've brought it to the Switch, But I'm kind of I don't know, man.
It's a good game. It's just the worst. I think it's the worst 3D Zelda, which is still good,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Okay. All right. My turn?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Um so I'll talk about Persona 5 Strikers really quick because I'm like 9 hours in, but it still feels like I'm nowhere in the game. I'm still in
Right.
the
What do you?
first so the way it works, it's basically if they took Persona 5 and made it into like kind of like a Muso, but more like just a hack and slash, kind of like Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Because it doesn't feel like it's not open world. Like you have these like you have the same type of map or dungeon that you would in Persona 5, so you're just kind of going through the hallways. You ambush or attack one guy, he splits off into like 10 or 15 of the enemies from Persona, and then you can switch between all four of your party members to attack and fight these guys with hack and slash. You can use magic, so it feels very more like Kingdom Hearts to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. It's pretty fun. It's actually kind of hard to kind of get the hang of because you got to remember like the combos to attack and then do magic at the end. So that part's been kind of hard to get used to. And then just knowing which party members to bring into your party because you're going to run into like the enemies that you're going to need to use their magic for the weakness on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been pretty hard to kind of get familiar with, but like I'm 9 hours in, I'm still in the first palace essentially, and it's a lot of like you got to unlock this place here with this, and then you jump out of that dungeon, and then there's a lot of dialogue, and it's cool because it's the characters I'm familiar with, but it's also kind of like I really want to get back to defeating this dungeon and seeing what comes after because it's still kind of like a tutorial essentially. And I hear it's a pretty long game, but maybe like 30 hours, I think. Which for me is pretty long, especially if it's going to be a whole lot of dialogue. But I do like it so far. I kind of love the combat of it. It does very much remind me of Kingdom Hearts more than it would like Dynasty Warriors.
Right. Are you playing it on the Switch or the PlayStation?
I decided to get it on Switch, and that's mainly because that was the console I had with me while I was in California, and I felt like that's the type of game I could play while I'm like laying in bed or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I'll update you guys as I get farther in. Next game is Pokemon Unite. So this was a game I was very excited for. It's basically League of Legends but with Pokemon. It's Tencent developed this game, I guess. So it is going to be not only on the Switch, but it'll eventually come to mobile. But so far, it's really fun. Like, choosing a Pokemon to take into battle with you is the first part of it. And then as you're kind of getting experience throughout the match, he or she evolves into their next evolution. So, like, I main Greninja. So you start off as Froakie. And you just start off by, like, the way you do in League of Legends, you start kind of just auto-attacking minions, right? And then you're gaining experience at the same time that you're gaining points. So you're like, if I kill this, let's see, what is it, Cronkana or whatever, or that's not Cronkana, it's like a lobster guy.
No idea.
I get 2 Pokeballs essentially, and I get experience plus I get 2 Pokeballs to dunk in the opponent's hoop essentially. So It's kind of like trying to think of a Pyre.
Oh, okay.
So it feels a little bit like that. What's great is when you start fighting with the other players, and it's all about like when to use your cooldown, when to like teleport out, because you can every character is gonna have some sort of like mobility or um debuff or something like that they can use along with their attack, and then you do get one special. So and that comes as you level through the match. You gain your abilities, you evolve, you get different attacks just like you do in regular Pokemon games. So if for people that maybe don't want to get into it because it looks like League of Legends, I definitely say give it a shot because it's got a really good like easy tutorial that'll get you into the game. And it's really like I'm playing ranked and I'm still doing really well in ranked. And I'm not playing like a ton. I've probably put in maybe a total of 6 hours. And I'm on like the third rank of beginner. So essentially like you level up, you go beginner 1, beginner 2, beginner 3. I'm on beginner 3 almost to whatever's next. But it's just a good time. I think they've done a really good job kind of bringing it to life. There is a huge issue that people do need to be aware of, and I'm sure people already know about this if you're following the game at all. It has a pay to win aspect because so normally in a MOBA, as you battle through the match, you're going to gain currency, and that's how you get your items, right? You get a couple items, you put them together, you upgrade the item, things like that. With Pokemon, it's a little different. You pre-choose your items and you go into the match with them. So let's say I have a potion. The potion I can use at any time. It's a cooldown and it'll give me extra health, which is great. The problem is all these items have levels, and you upgrade them with currency that you earn throughout the game. But people that maybe want to boost their items can buy them, upgrade all those items or level them up, and then that's where they gain, you know, an advantage where suddenly their their X attack is level like 50, while because I've been leveling mine throughout the game or throughout my time with it, not spending any money, it's maybe like level 2 or 3. And that's definitely a pay to win aspect.
So is it really that big of a thing you can buy? Like you can level it up that many times where it's so much more powerful?
I don't know the max level on it, but I know that's
Okay.
kind of been a huge issue because a lot of the
Right.
items can really turn a battle. Like if if you go in there with a team of upgraded items, um, it doesn't really matter if you're like 2 or 3 levels behind. You're gonna be stronger in a lot of those cases. Um, but if you're a good enough player and you've leveled up, either at the same point as the character in the game or in your match, there's a chance you can still beat them even if they have the better item. But it's just such a weird thing for them to have. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
if it were me, like in my opinion, I guess, they shouldn't have levels to their items because that's gonna cause such a huge balance issue for the game, especially in ranked. Like ranked shouldn't have item levels. Like that's crazy to me.
And the items level up throughout the match?
No, though. So your items have a level like you level them up outside of the game.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
okay.
go to your main menu, you go to your item, and then you're like, okay, I have 2,000 points. I'm gonna put them all into X attack, and that's gonna get leveled up like 4 or 5 times. And then it's gonna be like all the stats that it helps me with are higher now, and
Hmm.
I take that into the game with me, and I start with it right away. So it allows you to get early wins against the other players, which gives you a lot of XP, which if your team is higher level than the other team, it's a lot easier to take them down, and then you go and score points and stuff like that. It's
How does this yeah, that does suck. How does the basketball thing work?
so at the end of the match, the team with the most points wins.
Right.
And so as you're like, so you have essentially 5 different baskets, one at the because it's kind of like an oval shape. So you got one at the top, two on like the upper side, and then two more towards like the middle of the map. And then you have a center where like I think it's Zapdos that spawns in, and if you take down Zapdos, he debuffs their baskets, so you actually hit for double points. So again, those items come in handy when you decide to go after Zapdos. You can take them down quicker than the other team. Suddenly, all your points are doubling. When you like, if I have 50 points, each hoop is 100 points total. And so if I go and dunk 50 points in it, it's gonna automatically take out their hoop. So it's like it's a fun game. Like I haven't had a bad experience with any matches because of items, but I think as maybe I get higher ranked or as the game's out more or longer, we're gonna see a huge difference in those. Did you lose me? Hello?
No, I'm just
Oh.
thinking about. I haven't given it a shot yet. I kind of want to, but at the same time, I don't really want to play anything online on my Switch. I
Yeah.
just feel like it's not gonna work. But
You know,
maybe.
I haven't had really any trouble, honestly. I was
Alright.
playing it in California just on the Wi-Fi at that house, and playing it here on my Wi-Fi hasn't been that bad either. Like I really haven't had any lag or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. Maybe if you stream it or something, I'll try and hop in.
Okay.
At some point.
Yeah. I'll probably stream it
Maybe.
this week. I want to like grind in rank a little bit. So, but yeah, if you're down to play, I'll jump out and play some regular matches cuz that's fun too. There's a lot of so they're starting to put out more and more cosmetics here and there, like cuz they got a little shop and you can buy stuff through there, like cosmetics for the Pokemon. And then you get stuff when you log in, you get currency when you complete missions. There's like daily missions you can complete, like, so there's ways to earn stuff in there. They have like, I think they're going to be doing a battle pass, or they have one already, but it didn't seem that enticing to me because I think a lot of the cosmetic items for your character, like your avatar guy,
Trainer.
look kind of dumb. So I'm just like sticking with what I had at the beginning. But it's fun. I think you might like it. Just give it a shot, you know. A lot of people are playing it, and that's what's nice is like
Oh,
there's definitely a lot of people like to play with online, which is nice. And so far I haven't really had a bad experience. I've even like in ranked, it's not as sweaty as like it would be in league.
well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Everyone needs to calm down. It's just Pikachu, damn it.
Yeah, it's just a little rat. Relax.
Yeah, just a little rat guy. And I think that's all I have. The only other games I've been playing are like the normal, like Apex and Destiny, although I haven't really touched Destiny that much. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh my gosh, yeah. So while I was in California, my nephew got a Nintendo Switch for his birthday in like early July, and I got them Mario Kart because I was like, hey, you gotta have Mario Kart, and then I got them Smash Bros. And then we started playing Mario Kart like as a group, and my younger nephew, who's I think he just turned 16, ungodly at Mario Kart. He hadn't played very much, but he was kicking our asses. He was first place every match, no matter who was playing against him, because it was like 4 of us all together playing. And even when he just had the little Joy-Con, he was still kicking everybody's ass. It's crazy. He just hits every boost, and you know, there apparently you can boost off jumps and ramps and stuff like that. I'm like, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
No, I had no idea about this stuff, and he's just like schooling everybody. It was crazy. Man,
Good for him.
to be that skilled at games.
Yeah. Wow. I'll allow it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for this week.
Okay.
Any other games?
Yeah, I still have 2 things.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Cause it's been a while. Cause I played Little Nightmares 2 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like I played that so long ago. I played through Death's Door. A lot of people are saying like there's a lot of people saying it's a Zelda-like, and I don't really agree. I vaguely understand what they're saying, where you're kind of exploring an overworld, and there's secret bombable wall type of things, but it doesn't really feel Zelda-y to me, barring a few like dungeon areas. Uh, but that's just kind of splitting hairs. It's just something I keep hearing people call it a Zelda-like, and I don't really, I don't necessarily agree with that. But it's a great action, adventure, puzzle solving game. I really enjoyed it. I think it took about 14 hours to 100%. I loved doing that and like beating the game and going back, and there's a thing that changes, and now I'm revisiting areas and unlocking all these other secrets and finding hidden like a hidden boss and doing all of that, the weird little items. There's a I'll spoil it a little bit. For one, like NPC you can find is this squid that's controlling a man,
Hmm.
and it's like, I'm a human. I am not a I use my hands to do things, and it's pretty funny. Um, but there's a whole side quest with that character, like all these other characters, and it was a great time. I'm not as high on it as other people. I did really enjoy the combat overall, and the upgrades you get are pretty cool, even if it's not. It's a little confusing because there's like a speed upgrade, and there's also like an agility upgrade. So there's like your how many times you can roll versus how many times you can attack, and the speed of attacks and rolls are separate, which is weird.
Yeah.
But the abilities and things you get, it's a lot of fun. I would liken it more to Bastion or a
Okay.
game like that than or Hades.
I know people
Than
were people were comparing it to like Titan Souls.
well, yeah, that's their previous game. So
Oh shit,
it
that's
is
right. That is their previous game.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is in a way, but it just looks the art style
Looks
is
better.
beautiful. This kind of cell shaded uh characters that they have a great style. I did really enjoy it. I'm not disappointed to but have to buy it. It's not a Game Pass stuff like that. Like no, it was totally worth it. I did really enjoy it. I do think there are some things about like the weapons you get. There's 5 different weapons in the game, and one of them's a joke weapon, so that doesn't necessarily count. But then all the other weapons I got, the sword or the broadsword or like the fast daggers, I didn't like any of them. I really only liked the first sword you get
Okay.
because, oh, the big sword's slower, but it's more powerful. Like, yeah, but it only has a 2-hit combo, so I'll just stick with the other sword. So like that I didn't really enjoy. You can't look at your stats. So on the weapons page, it'll tell you like your attack is 1.25 versus this weapon's 1.0 versus like the range of the attack is 3, and so you can compare them all. But then as you level up, those stats increase, but they're not reflected on that stats page. So I don't know. I would love to know how much more they're increasing, but I can never know. And you can't look at your stats that you can upgrade unless you're at the guy who can upgrade them.
Yeah.
So that's a weird thing because you can upgrade, I think, 4 different abilities 5 times each. And I'd have to go back to the guy to see if I have enough or if you know what I mean? Like I can't just look at that upgrade screen,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
weird choice.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like when games do that where like you have to go back to an NPC just to view like things that you can buy or upgrade, things like that. Like some
yeah,
stuff I get like if it's a blacksmith or something like that, but if it's like just an upgrade tree or abilities, like that should just be something you can look
right.
at right on your screen.
It's not a big deal because you just can teleport back to this person really and go do it. It's just a weird. I understand making to where I can't just do it wherever, but at least let me look at it.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was weird to me. But no, the rest of it is great. Exploring the world is I get a quasi Zelda like experience, but Zelda is so much more or so much less about combat. This is a combat heavy game. It is about getting attacked by a mob here and getting the shortcut so you don't have to do it again and stuff like that. More Dark Souls ish idea of getting to the next checkpoint. Um, and I really did like it. I think they did a great job. It it does deserve the kind of hype it's getting.
Yeah.
I'm not over the moon about it as everyone else is. Um, but I did really like it. I know I don't think you were on the episode where I talked about Chicory, but Chicory was the Zelda like, and you paint the world and stuff. I think I enjoyed that slight. I think I enjoyed that more. The story was more entertaining. The mechanics are more unique. Uh, it, that game had something to say,
Yeah.
whereas Death's Door was like just like a cool action game.
Okay.
And they're different, obviously. Chicory barely has any combat for one. They're like polar opposites in that respect. But but yeah, both of those games I highly recommend.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Uh, so the big one, Scarlet Nexus, the game I played the demo for. I was excited for this game. Played the demo, did not enjoy the demo.
Yeah.
Decided, I don't. And you played the demo too, right?
Yeah, I was on the same page with you. I was the demo I thought was okay, but like I wasn't sold on the game anymore, and I initially was really hyped for it.
Yeah.
And then it came out to like stellar reviews, and I was like, "What?"
I know. I'm so surprised by that. So it's on my GameFly queue. I get the game. Uh, I'm at the very end. I wanted to push through, but as I said, I'm feeling pretty good now. I was sick last night.
Oh no.
So I was like, I need to go to bed early. Like I have to sleep this off. And I probably have an hour and a half left of the game.
Okay.
I'm in the final dungeon. Of course, it's a JRPG, so the final dungeon is like obnoxiously long. I fought this boss, and it was like, oh, here's the boss. It went away. Oh no, something's coming. It's another boss. And
Oh
then I
jeez.
fight that. And then, oh my gosh, it's back again. And there's a third boss. And then there was a fourth boss that was a combination of all three of those things. And it was just like, this is so JRPG. I love it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those final dungeons that takes forever. I'm a bit surprised because I'll probably beat it at about 25 hours. Seems a little shorter than I feel like people are saying. And part of that, like I did maybe half of the side quests, but the side quests aren't very good. For a couple reasons. Because we're gonna be all over the place with this review as I think of things. But the side quests are all, hey, defeat this enemy with this thing, and they're very
Mm.
specific. And the enemies all have weird names. So I think there's literally one that's like Winery Chinery. That's the name of the thing.
Okay,
And
I like that. I like that.
it's really dumb, but I do like it. So like defeat two Winery Chinery with this thing, and you're like, okay, where do I go find that? And then you have to go to the enemy's page to find where it's located, and then go to where it is and then kill it. So it's not the quests aren't things you'll just accidentally do,
Yeah.
or you might. It's not like kill 30 of these things, and you're like, okay, well I'll keep playing the game and I'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
It's very specific. They got to the point where it was defeat this one enemy with this one specific attack, and I'm like, okay, but I can't trigger that attack at will, so I have to just hope I get it nearby and that guy's there.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that. The rewards aren't really that great. I only did the half I did because the combat is fun. Like to go back to the demo and all that. The gameplay feels so much better in the actual game. I
Oh, okay.
remember the mobs in the demo, it was just constant combat mobs. It felt too long. It felt like they had way too much health.
You
It
felt
wasn't working.
underleveled. Yeah, you felt
Yeah,
like
it felt very
underleveled.
underleveled. Yeah. And even now, if I feel underleveled, I can still fight through things. It feels so much more balanced in the actual game. Had a lot of fun with the combat. By and large, it works. Um, I do think there's difficulty spikes, and especially with certain boss fights.
Yeah.
And the certain enemies too. It'll be like, oh, it has a metal thing around its head, so you got to attack it with like thrown objects a
Yeah.
bunch of times. And sometimes it's literally I'm throwing 20 things at this thing's head, and it still isn't hurt all the way. And so certain enemies' weak points, I just don't know how to do effectively
Yeah.
or reliably, and it's not fun to figure out at all. Um, and then other ones, it's very obvious, like, oh, let me do this and I'll knock it over and then I'll win. Like, yeah, this is great.
Easy. Yeah.
It just doesn't quite nail it for all the enemies. And it's one of those things too where you can just wail on it,
Hmm.
and eventually you'll win. It also does the thing where there's just so much exposition on the side of the screen in the middle of a boss fight where like the characters are still talking to each other and I'm like, dude, I can't. There's demons and I'm throwing shit and there's all sorts of stuff going on. I cannot focus on that. Uh that's kind of a problem. And they'll tell you things too, like, oh, that attack looked like it worked, or why don't you try this? It's like valuable advice. But in the heat of battle, I need this to be focused up. I've literally paused the game and looked at the item bestiary, whatever the hell,
Yeah.
and and then read their pages like, dude, this attack or this attack might work. I'm like, perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's just not it's a lot. I remember out in the demo it was just this person has this ability and this ability and this ability and this ability. It's unveiled to you a lot slower in the game. And by the end, you have everybody, and you have 8 different powers, or 9. You have 9 different powers you can activate,
Crazy.
and it works. And you have, because you've built up your character and you've gone into this game, so now, depending on the skill tree, you can have 2 or now 4 at the same time active. So
Hmm.
you can have like the super shield, the super speed, the fire attack with it, and then you have like some other thing also, all going at the same time. Totally cool. It's fun to abuse the system that way. There's a lot going on in
Yeah.
this game,
Yeah.
but
Well, playing just the demo alone, I was already like, oh man, there's so much happening here, and you go try to go through the menus, and you're just like, this is a mess.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
I do think like the equipment is a big letdown. It basically it doesn't even need to exist because there's really only one weapon for each character that you just keep upgrading.
Yeah.
So why even bother? Like, I understand upgrade it because you get a better attack, but as a developer, why did you even bother having that?
Yeah.
You might as well just not do that and just not scale the enemy's damage. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to do that if I'm not going to min max anything else. And the other stuff you can equip is like raising your defense or raising your attack or raising your HP. And that's just pretty basic stuff. It's nothing that crazy. I really do like the story. It's very anime. And I mean that almost literally. Like this
Yeah.
game feels like an anime adaptation or a game adaptation of an anime. And I know there is an anime of this.
Yeah. I
Um,
think it came out on. Damn. What was it on?
I don't know.
It might
It's
just
on
be on.
something
It might be on like Funimation or
right.
Crunchyroll. But yeah, I remember seeing like I think people were actually really liking the anime too.
It's pretty cool. I haven't watched the anime, but I mean like the world is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's it's funny that because there'll be whole scenes where I'm like, this feels like because you've played the Naruto games.
Yeah.
Um, and I've played a little bit of one of them, and it's just kind of it feels abridged in a cool way where it's like goes to this fight and then this fight and this thing, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
game feels that way. It feels like the filler episodes have all been cut out, and you're just cruising, and then all of a sudden plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Like this person's this person's doing that. Now you're killing this guy. Like fuck, we're really moving here. It's kind of cool that way. And then it will have these hard stops at every chapter where you do the bonding episodes with each character, very
Oh.
JRPG
Yeah.
persona-ish. And that's fun. It's pretty tropey, but not in a bad way necessarily. It's got the shy girl and you know what I mean.
The
The
shy girl and
the shy girl,
the very gung ho guy that's like, I believe in myself and
the one
friendship.
person who's like, I don't want to be a part of the team.
Oh yeah,
Ugh,
the
I'm
Sasuke. The
here. Yeah,
Sasuke. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And it's cool. And you get to kind of like most of them. But
cool.
I've really enjoyed it. I like it a lot. I still think the reviews are like, I'm glad you guys liked this. I'm surprised this is the game you decided to jump on. I wonder if it's just because it's not associated with any IP.
Hmm.
You said you don't need to know One Piece or Naruto or anything to jump in. You can just have this cool JRPG anime experience,
Yeah.
and we're all on the same page. I think that does help it. The combat is fun. Like I said though, it is. I feel like it's very unbalanced overall. You're either kicking ass or it's like, okay, on your toes, and it doesn't. It can switch on a dime to that. A lot of the attacks I get hit with, it's either I don't notice them or well, now I'm at half health. Like, that was quick.
Yeah.
Um, like two of my equipment slots are just for increasing my defense because I just don't want to get hit with shit.
Right.
So
Yeah. That
yeah. But
another
now I'm at the
good.
end of the game. I'm like, use all the items, use all the items. Who
I know
cares?
that's how it goes with RPGs too. You end up with like a ton of items that you thought you needed at the end, and then finally you're just like, well, I'll just start using them however I want. I have so many, 1,000 healths.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm playing as the female character, and I might I'm still might play through the whole game again as the dude, because they do seem pretty distinct, but I don't know yet. I'll play through at least a little bit just to see how different his fighting style is,
Yeah.
and see if if the game balance feels better as him. But I have heard the story is better if you play as uh Kasane versus the dude
Oh.
whose name is Yuito or something like that. Just because her story revolves more around like the weird sci-fi aspects of the plot. Um, and his story I think is more about the the what is it, political machinations of certain things. So I'm like not sure about this world and are there countries? Are there like what's going on exactly? But I know all the weird shit that's going on behind the scenes, and I'd rather have that. So that's what people have said is her story first, and then his. But and apparently, New Game Plus, you can just jump right in New Game Plus and play as him, and then it's faster. So
Okay.
that'll be cool. I might do that.
Yeah.
Um, I really do recommend this game. It is so much better than that shitty demo that was very.
Misleading,
It was
grindy,
weird, dude. Like
difficult.
the beginning of the game should have just been the demo. It should have just given you the first chapter for each character. And
That
that
would
would
be
have been
cool.
it would have given you the introduction of the story. You would have seen how each one fights. It and then maybe like one side mission where you're like a little higher level. That
Yeah.
would have worked perfectly. I don't know why they made the demo. I don't think it's representative of the final game almost at all. It's so bizarre,
Yeah.
but I really liked it. I guess the only other thing, the same 8 areas. You're going back to the same
Oh,
8
okay.
places
Yeah.
over and over. Um, and the same enemy, especially like I'm saying, I'm in the final dungeon. It's like, oh, we're gonna fight that thing again. Oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this again. All right. I mean, I've been in this subway a lot, guys. I've been in this subway
Thought
a
I cleared
lot.
these guys out already. Guess here they are.
Yeah.
They're back.
So like that's but I kind of I'd rather play more games and have them do these time saving measures than fewer games.
Yeah.
Like not every game needs to be The Last of Us Part 2. I'm fine with repeating areas um
Yeah, it's
in a lot of things.
not a big deal to me either. The
It's a little annoying in
repetitive
this
stuff.
one,
Yeah.
but it's also not that big of a deal cuz in 25 hours I've gone 3-4 times to the same places
Yeah.
depending.
That's
Not
very much
crazy.
RPG stuff, JRPG stuff, where kind of like
Yeah.
in Nier, where you're going back through
Yeah.
the same the
Yeah.
fishing village for the 10th time.
Oh my god. That's exactly it, and I'd rather do this.
Yeah.
But I'm now very excited for Tales of Arise. I'm a big Tales fan, but I was kind of like, I don't know, and I think they know what they're doing over there. Obviously, different studios, but still
Yeah.
Bandai Namco. I'm hopeful. Hopeful 2 awesome JRPGs.
Cross your
That sounds
fingers.
fun. Fingers crossed.
Cool.
And that's
Oh,
it.
I don't know if I talked about it previously. I might have. You'll let me know. XCloud, the playing like Octopath.
Oh no, you didn't. You didn't.
Okay. So, it must have been when I went back, but I was playing Octopath Traveler and Dragon Quest 12
Not
on
Octopath Traveler again.
Yeah. Well, so I was in the mood for an RPG, and I also wanted to test out the xCloud, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be
Sure.
playing Halo on this shit. So, I did Octopath Traveler, and just like I was just in the mood to kind of get lost in a story, and I'm like, I'm gonna start with a different character this time and see how it goes. And playing on xCloud was like perfect with that game and with just sitting down and streaming it, and it worked pretty well. I was pretty surprised. The only time it didn't work well was kind of like if you didn't have strong enough Wi-Fi, then you're getting lag when you're trying to move around. So that's the
Right.
only time. So I played a little bit of Dragon Quest 12 and works pretty well with that too. So
Is Dragon Quest 11 or is it 12?
oh, maybe it's 11. The one that's on is it?
I
I don't
don't
know.
now. I don't know. Is it 12? But the one on Xbox, whatever. It echoes of Elusive Age, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it is. It is 11.
It is 11?
Yeah, Dragon Quest.
Okay.
No, wait. Yeah.
I don't
Look,
know.
I'm looking
I
at the
don't
cover
even
right now. Let's see. Yeah, Echoes of an Elusive Age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 11. My bad.
Well,
There's
I
just
was
so many.
there's so many. I was
There's
like,
so
I
many.
don't even know if that's right or wrong.
But yeah, I was playing with xCloud too. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. I haven't touched it in a while because then I got my Switch and
Yeah.
played Persona 5 Strikers and Mario Kart and who knows.
That's
Who
a
knows
really
what
good
else.
game. Really good game.
But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Cool.
I think we can go ahead and end it here. I think we meant to keep it short, but hey, here we go. Over an hour.
Well,
that
the
happens.
first episode back is gonna be long.
Yeah, we're shaking off the cobwebs and everything. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. Thank you, Ben, for of course being here. And Logan, whatever you're doing, we hope it's going well wherever you are. But yeah, remember guys, you can follow us here on Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Apple Podcast Services. You can also watch us live on twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint, Sundays, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Episode will be out Tuesday morning. And yeah, it'll be up on podcast services, and we will see you guys again next week. Goodbye.
Meow.
Meow.